Hi, I'm Michael Day, teacher, nature photographer, and traveler. This video is about a visit to the enchanted Galapagos Islands. At the end of the video is some information about my blog and how to contact me. Thanks for watching.
Susan and I traveled to the Galapagos Islands with Natural Habitat Adventures out of Boulder, Colorado, a wonderful adventure travel outfitter company that's been operating since 1985. We traveled with 16 guests on the Nina for 8 days and 7 nights. The Galapagos Islands, viewed from a NASA satellite image, are located approximately 600 miles west of mainland Ecuador, straddling the equator in the Pacific Ocean. Galapagos, Old Spanish for tortoise, the island of the tortoises, is made up of 13 major volcanic islands and numerous smaller ones. They were visited by Charles Darwin in 1835 and helped shape his theory of evolution. Susan and I visited 9 of the major islands. What follows is a brief description of each. But first, a few photos of the assortment of astonishing wildlife found on the islands. The giant tortoise, marine iguana, land iguana, lava lizard, the fur seal, sea lion, Sally Lightfoot crabs, blue-footed booby, NASCAR booby, the flamingo, penguin, finches, 13 species on the island, brown pelican, flightless cormorant, the dove, hawk, lava heron, magnificent frigate bird, great frigate bird, the swallow-tailed gull, mockingbird, waved albatross, bottlenose dolphin, grasshopper, and the giant Galapagos centipede. Now a brief description of the Galapagos Islands we visited. Baltra. This is the island where the Galapagos Airport is located, where we landed and began our adventure. This is also where the U.S. Air Force Base was located during World War II. It is here we boarded our boat, the Nina, a lovely catamaran, and met our Natural Habitat staff and guides. Bartolome. Mid-afternoon, day 1, we visited our first island, Bartolome, home to Pinnacle Rock. We first toured a bit of the island's shoreline on one of 2 10-person inflatable motorized pangas. Here we saw the Galapagos penguin, sea lions, and marine iguanas. Then we hiked a managed trail to Bartolome's summit, with excellent views of the islands below. Along the trail, we also experienced wonderful views of Bartolome's volcanic landscape, including its gorgeous lava cactus. Isabella. We then traveled through the night, crossing the equator to the west side of the Galapagos Islands, to Isabella, Galapagos' largest island, 75 miles long and 50 miles wide, bigger than all the other islands combined. Shaped a lot like a seahorse, Isabella is also one of Galapagos' youngest islands. We spent part of the morning touring the rocky coastline in a panga, entering a delightful sea cave. Along its rocky coastline, numerous seabirds flew overhead. Along the water, we saw bottlenose dolphins, sea turtles, rare flightless cormorants, and marine iguanas. Fernandina. In the afternoon, we traveled south and west to the smaller island of Fernandina, the youngest of the Galapagos Islands. Exploring this rocky, dark lava field at the end of the day with few other guests or tour groups around was pure delight, providing time to casually and unhurriedly sit and observe. Surrounded by marine iguanas, we stepped gingerly along the marked trail. Along the way, we saw fur seals, our first Galapagos hawk, and again, flightless cormorants, this time resting on land. Santiago. That night we traveled around Isabela and east to the island of Santiago, also called James Island, fourth largest island in the Galapagos. After breakfast, we went on shore near Sullivan Bay, to the island where Darwin spent 9 days during his travels on the HMS Beagle. Initially, we walked a dark, sandy trail charmed by prickly pear cactus trees, seeing both mockingbirds and our first Darwin finch. Then we ended our hike at a beautiful black lava field at Sullivan Bay, enjoying glazed lava rock in an endless array of smooth and swirling designs. We also saw our first lava lizard, lava heron, and delighted in watching a marine iguana eating green algae. Rabida. Later in the afternoon of day 3, we traveled to the island of Rabida, a small island to the south of Santiago. We took a short hike to view Rabida's volcanic cliffs, where we saw more prickly pear cactus trees, and marveled at its uniquely deep red beaches, deep red because the island's soil is made up of so much iron. We also spent time laying on the beach with sea lions, and watching a nursing sea lion pup. We also were treated to a beautiful sunset. San Cristobal. Throughout the night and into the morning of our 4th day, we traveled east, about 82 miles from Rabida, to the western shoreline of San Cristobal, the 5th largest island. After a rather dreary, rainy beginning to the day, we experienced a beautiful rainbow, shortly before seeing Kicker Rock, a volcanic formation created in an explosion of hot lava. Then on to a delightful cove at Lobos Island, Seal Island. Here we toured the rocky shoreline and saw our first blue-footed boobies, brown pelicans, great frigate birds, marine iguanas, and sea lions. We also had our first experience snorkeling with sea lions. What a great morning. Then after lunch, we made our way to the harbor to San Cristobal, home to the 2nd largest human population on the islands, about 6,000 people. On the island, we visited the Tortoise Center, established in 2004, to help rebuild the giant tortoise population. Due to the center's success, the breeding program was discontinued in 2016. It was here that we also were able to see our first Galapagos giant tortoise. We also had an opportunity to relax a bit and take in the town. Española. In the morning of day 5, we arrived at the most exciting island thus far, Galapagos' oldest island, located furthest to the southeast of our archipelago of volcanic islands, one of the smallest of the islands. Seems we hiked nearly the whole of it. Here we saw both the colorful blue-footed boobies and elegant wave albatross performing their mating rituals, their dance, called fencing. The island is a major nesting site for the waved albatross. We also saw a Galapagos giant centipede, witnessed the first flying lesson of a brown-footed booby, and watched the ebb and flow of an exciting blowhole formed in the lava bedrock below. Gardner Bay. The day continued to be delightful because the afternoon was spent on a charming beach, relaxing and frolicking with young sea lions. Floriana. The morning of day 6 began on another of the older islands, roughly 40 miles to the west of Española. Here we had a morning hike along a beach to a nesting site of green sea turtles. Seems we just missed the egg hatching sometime during the night, but we could clearly see marks in the sand of their tracks to enter the sea. Great frigate birds circled above. We also visited a salt lagoon and saw our first flamingos. Santa Cruz. Returning to the Nina, we traveled north, another 40 miles or so, to the second largest and the most populated Galapagos island, currently with about 12,000 residents. This oval-shaped island is about 20 miles wide, with dry lowlands and lush, moist highlands. After a short panga ride to the harbor and to the town of Puerto Oraya, through a lovely park with a monument to Charles Darwin, we traveled to the highlands where we spent the night. Along the way, we stopped at the Charles Darwin Research Center, where we once more saw a number of Galapagos giant tortoises. The next morning, day 7, we descended the highlands and visited a local school and a coffee plantation, before returning to the highlands and searching for and learning more about the giant tortoise.
Been modified in shape probably to play other functions, or have fused together, but you can always distinguish which ones were suffering a viscoid disease. So this one was suffering, flesh.
North Seymour. Day 8, we sadly bid farewell to our natural habitat staff and guides, departed the Nina, and began our long return flights home. But not before a brief morning visit to North Seymour Island, where in addition to seeing sea lions, both great and magnificent frigate birds, blue-footed boobies, this is one of their nesting areas, swallowtail gulls, we also saw our first land iguanas. The Galapagos Islands truly are an enchanting place to visit. If you'd like to further examine the link between adult education, wonder, curiosity, adventure, and travel, visit my blog at michael-day.org, where you can also contact me. Happy travels.